line.
Looks like a line, right. What do you think of, Bradley?
Segments of line.
Yes, it's a segment, that's right. Anybody else thinking of anything?
Negative.
Could be a negative, like a negative number, okay? What else might it be? Bradley?
Like a fraction bar.
Could be the fraction bar, right. What else? What do you think, Ron?
It could be part of a square.
Well, it could be, although not likely. I think Helen is closest to what we're wanting to talk about today. Oftentimes, if we have something like this, we think of that as subtraction. I mean, we've been doing it that way since we were little bitty kids, probably some of you back in kindergarten, because you were zooming ahead of everybody else, okay? You think of that as subtraction, and it is subtraction. I'm not going to deny that. The problem we have is, what happens if we have this? That's a real clinker there. What is that going to be? Well, we would put parentheses around it, and now we have to define subtraction. I've told you before, mathematicians are basically lazy people. They like to keep it as compact as possible. And so we don't do subtraction. Now you're going to say to me, Mrs. Lamb, we do too, do subtraction. And yes, you do, but no, you don't. We're going to define subtraction as adding the opposite. So we change them into addition problems. And then we're going to add the opposite. Now the best way to do this is what I just did right there. And that is put in a parentheses. Then we change this, let me use a different color. We change the minus sign here to plus, adding, and the opposite of this would be a positive 4. And 7 plus 4 is 11. Right?
But that doesn't get your answer for 7 minus 4.
No, well 7 minus 4 was a different problem altogether.
Oh.
This is the one we're looking at right here. Okay, what if our problem said this? 14 plus 20 minus 4 plus 19. Now, some of you are having trouble remembering to copy down the problem, and you found you've got lost points on your test because of it. There's the problem. The first thing we want to do is parentheses around this and add a plus sign in there. And now only thing we have to do is add. 14 plus 20 is how much? What is it? 34. Plus a negative 4. 34 plus negative 4. Bradley?
Is that 38?
No, it's 34 plus a negative 4.
Oh, 30.
Plus 19. 49.
Why do you have to make it plus negative 4? Why can't you just
Because we're going to get to the point where we've got this kind of thing. And if we have two negative signs together, we have to have some way to define that. So what we do is we're defining it as adding the opposite. All right, let's look at another one. All right, we have negative 17 minus 6 plus 5 plus 5 plus 19. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is put parentheses here, and I'll have a plus sign in front of it. We're going to put parentheses here, and we're going to have a plus sign in front of it. Now it's got to be between them. The rest of them are all positive. Yeah. It's not subtracting. You don't subtract. You just make it adding the opposite. So if it's a negative sign, you change it to adding the negative. Okay? So this tells us that we're going to have Negative 17, Ella?
Wouldn't you put another minus sign between 17, negative 17 and the negative 6?
Plus sign. The parentheses mean that it becomes a negative number. And I put this,
I thought the negative 6 and negative sign was like a minus sign.
no. What we're going to do every time we have a minus sign is we're going to put a parentheses around it, including the minus sign, and then put a plus sign in front. Now we could do the same thing here. We could parentheses here, but these are already positive numbers, so we don't really need those parentheses. But we are not subtracting, we are adding the opposite. So we're going to have negative 17 plus a negative 6. What is that? Brennan?
It's negative 22.
Plus 5. Come on, you guys, what is it? Yes. Isn't that right? 18, negative 18. Okay, plus 5.
Negative 13.
Plus 19. Negative 13 plus 19. What did you get, Riley?
6.
And you get 6.
So the parentheses and the contour signs, is that the definition?
Yes, what's right there is the word that we show. But you do want to make sure you put the parentheses. Okay, let's look at another one. This one says negative 2 plus 4 minus 15 plus 20. So we put parentheses around it, this becomes plus. We put parentheses around this, that becomes plus. What did you get? Maddie, what'd you get? You got 41? Ella, what'd you get? What did you get, Chris? 3? What did you get, Kelly?
7.
Okay, well, let's see. Anybody else? Let's see what we've got. We have negative 2 plus 4. That's 2. 2 plus negative 17 is 13. Negative 13. And negative 13, and negative 15. Negative 13 plus 20 would be 7. Okay? How many of you got 7? Okay, okay. Then, you can turn that off.